Hey, this is Dana from It's Our Dandy Life, and today we're putting up our garden fence. So you see Andy and Lindsay putting up the posts. They're measuring to see where each one should be and make sure they're plumb and square and all the good things. They're taking their time digging the holes, and it's hard packed ground, so it's not easy at all. Okay, so here I'm picking through all the pallet like boards that we cut apart in a previous video, and I'm going to sand them down. I'm just picking the best ones for the fence like pickets that I'm gonna use, and so I'm just lining them up, and I kind of guesstimated that I was gonna need 13 per like 8-foot fence section. So that's why I'm stacking them up, and then I'm gonna sand them down before I start putting them on the fence. Here I'm getting ready to sand. I'm using an 80 grit sandpaper on my Ryleby circular sander. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's been a good little sander for us. And so I just sanded both sides and the edges and kind of rounded them over and just made them a little bit nicer, not so splintery. So today we're working in the yard, and you can probably hear it. We went and rented a trencher. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we went and rented a trencher so we could put in our sprinkler lines today. So that's what we're doing today. So as you can see, Andy's using the trencher, and we got the trencher because it would be a lot easier to cut than in our super hard clay soil. And we're trying to dig down about 18 inches so that he can lay the sprinkler lines. He kind of did a drawing and figured out where each line is going to go in each sprinkler head. So he kind of took that on and figured it out. Okay, so this is what our backyard looks like starting today. And so we've put up our garden post, and we're starting on our garden fence. And now we are trenching the lines. And so this is a before shot. Okay, so Andy put up these posts a couple days ago. And then he made the garden, so that's the garden gate right there. And the rest of the fence will look the same. We're still working on that. And then we're gonna paint it black. And we're gonna put up an arbor over where the gate will be. And then the rest of our yard, let me turn around. The rest of our yard will be grass for right now. So we're trenching all the lines for the irrigation. And so we will be able to get our sprinklers in. And then Andy's gonna bring a line in across, like right in here, that feeds the garden, and then the garden will have drip irrigation as well in all the garden boxes once we make them. Okay, so a couple days ago I started on our garden fence, and of course I forgot to record it for a while, so actually just a minute. Is that better? Okay, so I'm gonna set you up and I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. Like a few weeks ago I told Andy that I wanted to start building things, and so he thought that the garden fence would be a good thing to start on. So I am officially halfway done, and I have made all of it except Andy put in the posts, and he made the garden gate just to make sure it was the right width and that it was square. But I hung it, and I have put up all the rails and all the pickets, and I've sanded and cut everything to length. So pretty proud of myself. But so this is the second half of the fence. Everything that we're using is reclaimed or is like free pallet wood that we've taken apart and sanded, and then I'm gonna paint it black, and Andy's gonna build me a little arbor to go over the top posts that go over the gate, so it's gonna look super cute. So here we go. I'll set you up and go on fast mode. So here I'm starting to put up the rails, and so I figured out where the lowest point, so I just started where I wanted one side to be, and then I took the level and made it level, the board level, not level with the ground. And then I used our impact drill to drill it in with, I don't know, they were special screws. They have like a star. See if I can link them below. And so I did that, and then I used our Sawzall to cut the extra ends off, because apparently I can't measure the correct length. So I hurried and did that. And then I just measured the distance that I did with the other ones, the other side that I did the day before, and just made it the same height from the bottom rail. And here I am struggling with our cheapo clamps, trying to get it to clamp in, and I was getting super frustrated, so I think I pretty much gave up. I'm gonna try another one. And eventually I just give up because they're not clamping anything, and I went and got new ones. So I like the new ones. They're DeWalt. It's well worth spending a little extra on some nicer clamps. And so I just leveled it out again and clamped it on, and then I screwed it in again with my impact drill. Making sure it's nice and level. So I'm just gonna do the same with the other side, and next I'm gonna put the rails up again. So I start with this one side and I put it as close to the ground. Okay, and just bear in mind that like all the wood we're using is reclaimed, and so it's not like perfectly square or level, or a lot of it is twisted. So I tried to make it as level as possible, and apparently I forgot to record the second rail being put up. And so here are the boards that we sanded earlier. So I started by putting one in right up against the post, and then I have one of the boards that I found that's the right width that I wanted. I wanted like 2.5 inches between each board. And so I just put it up and butt it up, and then put the next board up next to it, if that makes sense. I lined up all the bottoms with the bottom of the bottom rail. That was a lot of bottoms, sorry. So that's just how I put it up, and then I just kept using that guide for each time, and it was so much easier using the clamp to hold it in, because before I was trying to hold it in with just one hand and trying to screw with the other hand, and that was just so hard. Every now and then I would check the level. They're not perfect boards, and so they will get out of level eventually. And so I just checked it to make sure it was within, I mean, it wasn't too crazy out of level. So, and I just kept doing that until I was all the way done. So the last couple of boards in each section, I would kind of fudge them a little bit so that I didn't have like a skinny little space left at the end next to the post. But most of the time it worked out pretty good that the boards fit in pretty good. And of course the one I'm using as like a guide hits me in the head almost every time. So that was fun.
Okay, here she is, all done.